Why sex is not love. Dr. Miles Monroe once said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse becomes inevitable. It's so unfortunate that a lot of young men and ladies are not taught about what sex really is, when to allow for sex, and when not to. As a result, abuse of sex is now pervasive and common among the young ones. Even the adults are not excluded, especially those in relationships. Sex is now seen as a measure and proof of love. It's now seen as love, and love is also seen as sex. When you mention the word sex, love comes next in the minds of many. Without sex, love is seen as not being complete. So, sex is now seen as the expression of love. How unwise way of thinking. And this is pandemic in this generation of ours. Parents no longer teach their children the real meaning and understanding of love and sex. Why? Because even most parents themselves have no clue as to what sex and love truly are. Thus they have a completely wrong outlooks about sex and love. As a result, the absence of the real in-depth knowledge of what sex and love mean keeps going in cycle, from generations to generations. However, I wish this ignorance stops with our generation. We cannot afford to let this continue to be transgenerational. And for how long are we going to allow this continue? It has to stop, and it must surely stop. A lot of people need to be enlightened about sex and love. What is sex? Although, sex is beyond just penetration of the two different organs. But for the purpose of this video, I will be focusing on the basics and the areas common to every one of us. So, sex is a sexual intercourse between a male and a female. Thesaurus Dictionary defines sex as the sexual union involving penetration of the vagina by the penis. While that is true, I hope you know that sex is beyond just the penetration of penis and vagina. Thus it's possible to have sexual intercourse without penetration. Curious? Don't be too curious. I will teach you this when you are married. But for now, save the stress, to avoid stories that might touch the heart. Remember, the devil is always at work. So, be guided. What is love? Love is an unconditional and sacrificial state of being, where the desirability and focus are geared toward the good and betterment of the other person. I would like to liken this kind of love for agape. Thus, an unconditional and sacrificial love, God's kind of love. I will also like you to keep the first line of John 3:16 at the back of your mind. I will come back to touch that. Let's write on. However, before then, if you want to know and understand more about love, I dedicated a video for it. Kindly check the link in the description box. Does love mean sex? Absolutely not. Why? Because love is not sex, and sex is not love. How? Because if love was sex, God would have been having sexual intercourse with mankind. The first 9 words of John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave." Emphasis added. When God so loved us, he did what? The scripture says, he gave. Sacrificial. Did you see anything like sex there? Absolutely not. Did you see, for God so loved the world that he had sex with? Absolutely not. Then, where did we got the idea of sex for love or love for sex? It's certainly from natural human love. Such love is selfish, and always on what it can get, whether it's good or not. So, if you are in a relationship, never you be deceived that having sex is a proof and a show of love. No, that's not right and true. Instead, it's a proof of being stupid, foolish, and having no sense of dignity and values. The day you allow sex in your relationship, that's the day your foolishness and stupidity begin. That's the day your sense of value, worth, and dignity start diminishing. Never you be deceived. Sex is never a proof of love, neither is love a proof of sex. If there is anyone pressurizing you for sex in a relationship, run a death race for dear life. If you can't run, you've got to flee by flying. However, never make the mistake of crawling. You might look back like Lot's wife, and eventually change your mind. While that is being said, understand that it's totally wrong to allow sex in a relationship. Sex is reserved for married people. Are you married? If yes, fine. I have no word for you. If no, then you've got to take every words of mine you are hearing seriously. Thus, if you really want to help and save yourself from future depression and sadness, you can't afford to lose your relationship and also lose yourself along as a result of giving out sex. You are better off to be reserved, untouched, and lose the relationship than to lose the relationship and also lose yourself. My point is, never allow sex in a relationship for whatever reason. As long as you both aren't married, then sex should never be a go area. And never you make the mistake to believe that sex is love, and that love is sex. That's a lie from the pit of hell. You don't prove love by having sex. That's absolutely unbecoming. Don't fall a victim. Not just sex only, even romance, fondle, kissing, romantic hugging, cuddle, etc. are not exceptional either. Say no to all of them. I hope this video blesses someone. And if you love this video, then endeavor to like, comment, share, subscribe, and tap on the notification bell for more valuable and inspiring videos. See you in our next video.